Very good evening, friends. Today, we will be discussing the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016. So, let us start. Before we start our presentation, let us see the arrangement of sections. Like in every law, there are different chapters and there are different sections. So, chapter 1 is preliminary. It talks of short title, extent and commencement, and then definitions. Chapter 2 talks of registration of real estate project and registration of real estate agents. One of the unique features of RERA is that every project is to register itself under these provisions of RERA, and besides that, all the agents which are involved in real estate transactions, they also have to get themselves registered. So unless those real estate agents get themselves registered, they cannot operate. Similarly, a project will be deemed as illegal if it does not get itself registered under RERA. Chapter 3 also talks of functions and duties of promoter. So there are different types of functions and duties of promoter, particularly regarding advertisement, regarding soliciting clients for investment in RERA projects. There are stipulations as to how deposits or advances have to be taken. So first of all, without entering into an agreement for sale, no deposit or advance can be taken. Then there are stipulations as to sanctioned plans and project specifications. So these are the various types of functions and duties of promoter which they are required to perform. Then certain rights and duties are given to allottees as well in chapter 4. Chapter 5, it talks of the RERA authority, the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. So how it will be established, what will be the composition, what will be the qualifications of chairperson and members, terms of office, salary, administrative powers, and how removal will take place. So these are some of the features of this chapter 5. Then there are certain restrictions on chairperson actually. Then chapter 6, it talks of a central advisory council. There will be established a central advisory council and what will be the functions. Then chapter 7, it talks of real estate appellate tribunal. So if RERA authority gives a decision, the appeal will lie to the real estate appellate tribunal. So how this will be established, how settlement of disputes and appeals will take place, what will be the composition of appellate tribunal, qualifications, terms of office, etc., etc. Chapter 8 talks of offenses, penalties, and adjudication. And chapter 9, it talks of finance, accounts, audits, and reports. Chapter 10 is the miscellaneous provisions. So this is the broad outline of RERA. Now let us see the important features of RERA before we go through the BEAR Act. Section 2. Section 2 talks of definitions. So relevant definitions are covered under section 2 of the Act, which are as follows. So I will be discussing the key features of RERA, and I have enclosed with this PPT the BEAR Act as well in the form of PPT, which you can go through. So section 2, it will talk of various definitions like who is an adjudicating officer. So adjudicating officer means the adjudicating officer appointed under subsection 1 of section 71. Then advertisement. Advertisement means any document described or issued as advertisement. So the definition, it covers almost everything through any medium, say even WhatsApp, message, mail, any medium, and includes any notice, circular or other document or publicity in any form informing persons about a real estate project or offering for sale of a plot, building or apartment, or inviting persons to purchase in any manner such plot, building or apartment, or to make advances or deposits for such purposes. So the word any is used so many times. So any medium, any form, any manner, all are included in advertisement. So advertisement means any document described or issued as advertisement through any medium. And it includes any notice, circular, or other document or publicity in any form. Informing persons about a real estate project, offering for sale of a plot, building, or apartment, inviting persons to purchase in any manner such plot, building, or apartment, to make advances or deposits for such purposes. So all things are included under the head advertisement. Example, does advertisement include solicitation by emails, WhatsApp, social media, and SMS? Is issuance of prospectus considered to be a case of advertisement? Answer is any medium adopted in soliciting for sale would be covered under the said definition of advertisement, including SMS, WhatsApp, social media, and email. Even verbal communication can be covered under the advertisement because it covers any medium. Just a minute. An agreement for sale. Agreement for sale means an agreement entered into between the promoter and the allottee. So agreement for sale, which means an agreement entered into between the promoter and the allottee. So there are two parties to the contract. One is the promoter and the other is the allottee. So any agreement. Allottee. Allottee in relation to a real estate project means the person to whom a plot, apartment, or building, as the case may be, has been allotted. Sold, whether as freehold or leasehold or otherwise transferred by the promoter, and includes the person who subsequently acquires the said allotment through sale, transfer, or otherwise, but does not include a person to whom such plot, apartment, or building, as the case may be, is given on rent. So renting is not included in the term of allottee. So allottee means a person who has been allotted, sold, whether freehold or leasehold or otherwise transferred by the promoter, and includes the person who subsequently acquires the said allotment through sale, transfer, or otherwise. But it does not include a person to whom such plot, apartment, or building, as the case may be, is given on rent. So renting is not included. So allottee means the person to whom a plot, apartment, or building, as the case may be, has been allotted, sold. It includes who subsequently acquires the said allotment through sale, transfer, or otherwise. So it includes second sale as well, but it does not include renting. Example, does the term allottee include persons who have acquired the property through secondary sales? Answer, yes. So as per section 2D, an allottee includes a person who acquires the said apartment, plot through transfer or sale, but does not include a person to whom such plot, apartment is given rent. Next, apartment. So apartment, the definition of apartment is also very exhaustive. So apartment, whether called block, chamber, dwelling unit, flat, office, showroom, shop, godown, premises, suite, tenement, unit, or by any other name, means a separate and self-contained part of any immovable property. So first is separate. It should be a separate unit. And it should be a self-contained part of any immovable property, including one or more rooms or enclosed spaces located on one or more floors or any part thereof in a building or on a plot of land used or intended to be used for any residential or commercial use such as residence, office, shop, showroom, or godown, or for carrying on any business, occupation, profession, or trade, or for any other type of use ancillary to the purpose specified. So in apartment, it is quite an exhaustive definition, but it includes separate and self. So it means it does not include common area. So it should be separate, self-contained part. It should be an enclosed space, not an open space. It could be located on one or more floors, and use could be anything, residential, commercial, anything. Appellate tribunal means the real estate appellate tribunal established under section 43. And appropriate government means in respect of matters relating to union territory without legislature, central government, union territory of Puducherry, union territory government, union territory of Delhi, the central ministry of urban development, and the state means the state government. So appropriate government means this. Next is architect. So architect means a person registered as an architect under the provisions of the Architects Act 1972. Authority means the RERA authority established under subsection 1 of section 20. Then building. Building includes any structure or erection or part of a structure or erection which is intended to be used for residential, commercial, or for the purpose of any business, occupation, profession, or trade, or for any other related purpose. Carpet area. Carpet area means the net usable floor area. Net usable floor area of an apartment, excluding the area covered by the external walls, areas under service shafts, exclusive balcony or veranda area, and exclusive open terrace area. Because this was a bone of contention between the developer and the allottees, what is included in carpet area and what is not included. So it even excludes the external walls, the outer walls. So it means the net usable floor area. Internal walls will be included, of course, but external walls will not be included into the carpet area. So it means the net usable floor area of an apartment, excluding the area covered by the external walls, areas under service shaft, exclusive balcony or veranda area, and exclusive open terrace area, but it includes the area covered by the internal partition walls of the. So it is an inclusive as well as exclusive definition, what is included and what is not in carpet area. Explanation. For the purpose of this clause, the expression exclusive balcony or veranda area means the area of the balcony or veranda, as the case may be, which is appurtenant to the net usable floor area of an apartment, meant for exclusive use of the allottee. And exclusive open terrace area means the area of open terrace, which is appurtenant to the net usable floor area of an apartment, meant for the exclusive use of the allottee. So even if anything is intended to be exclusively used by the allottee, but if it falls outside the area covered by the external walls, whether it is called open terrace or whether it is called exclusive balcony or veranda area or service shafts, all these are excluded from the definition of carpet area. Then chairperson. Chairperson is the chairperson of the RERA authority. Next. Okay. Now the commencement certificate. मुझे लगता है डबल आ गया क्या? 22 and 23. Sometimes we copy हो जाता है. So commencement certificate means the commencement certificate or the building permit or the construction permit, by whatever name called, issued by the competent authority to allow or permit the promoter to begin development works on an immovable property as per the sanction plan. So commencement certificate is an important concept under RERA. So commencement certificate means the commencement certificate of the building permit or the construction permit, by whatever name called, issued by the competent authority to allow or permit the promoter. So this commencement certificate is issued to the promoter to begin development works as per the sanction plan. Then common areas means, so whatever is generally not included in the carpet area is covered under the definition of common area. Common area means the entire land for the real estate project or where the project is developed in phases and registration under this act is sought for a phase, the entire land for that phase. Staircases, lift, stairs, and lift lobbies, fire escapes, common entrances, common basement, terraces, parks, play areas, open parking. So all these are included under the definition of common areas. Then premises for the lodging of persons employed for the management of the property, including accommodation for watch and ward staffs or for the lodging of community service personnel. Say it might include the community service personnel, like the society has hired some plumbers or some electricians for servicing of flats, then though the provision made for lodging of those community service personnel, that will be covered under the common area. Installation of central services such as electricity, gas, water and sanitation, air conditioning and incinerating system for water conservation and renewable energy. So all these are included under the definition of common areas. Next is competent authority. So competent authority means a local authority or any authority created or established under any law for the time being enforced by the appropriate government, which exercises authority over land under its jurisdiction and has power to give permission for development of such immovable property. So it might be Noida Authority or DDA or any such competent authority which is created or established, which exercises authority over land under its jurisdiction and has power to give permission for development of such immovable property. Then completion certificate. First we studied the commencement certificate. Now is the completion certificate. So completion certificate means the completion certificate or such other certificate by whatever name called issued by the competent authority certifying that the real estate project has been developed according to the sanction plan, layout plan and specifications as approved by the competent authority under the local laws. Then day. Day means the working day in the concerned state or union territory as the case may be, notified by the appropriate government. So it will be state-wise working day. Development with its grammatical variations and cognate expressions means carrying out the development of immovable property, engineering or other operations in, on, over or under the land or the making of any material change in any immovable property or land and includes redevelopment. Then development works. Development works means the external development works and internal development works on the immovable property. Then engineer. Engineer means a person who possesses a bachelor's degree or equivalent from an institution recognized by AICTE or any institution recognized under a law or is registered as an engineer under any law for the time. So engineer. Then estimated cost of a real estate project. It means the total cost involved in developing the real estate project and includes the land cost, taxes, cess, development and other charges. So estimated cost of real estate project will include the land cost, taxes, cess, development and other charges. Then external development works. External development works includes roads and road systems, landscaping, water supply, sewerage and drainage system, electricity, supply transformer, substation, solid waste management and disposal or any other work which may have to be executed in the periphery of or outside a project for its benefit as may be provided under the local laws. So, suppose a developer is developing a property and there is no approach road. So, even the approach road will be covered under this external development works. Then family. Family includes husband, wife, minor son and unmarried daughter, wholly dependent on a person. So, family, definition of family is also important. Husband, wife, minor son and unmarried daughter. So major son is not covered and married daughter is also not covered. Then garage. Garage means a place within a project having a roof and walls on 3 sides for parking any vehicle but does not include an unenclosed or uncovered parking space such as open parking space. So garage, it does not include open parking area. Then immovable property, it includes land, buildings, right-of-ways, lights, or any other benefit arising out of land and things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything which is attached to the earth, but not standing timber, standing crops, or grass. So immovable property. Immovable property, it includes land, building, we have seen, but it does not include standing timber, standing crops, or grass. Then interest. Interest means the rate of interest payable by the promoter or the allottee as the case may be. So in this case, both the interests have been brought at parity. So whatever is the rate of interest chargeable from the allottee by the promoter in case of default, it shall be equal to the rate of interest which the promoter shall be liable to pay to the allottee in the case of default. So if promoter is doing a default, then the interest, whatever is chargeable, it shall be equal to the rate of interest which the promoter is likely to charge in case the default is by the allotee. So both are same. Interest payable by the promoter to the allotee shall be from the date of promoter received the amount or any part thereof till the date the amount or part thereof and interest thereon is refunded. And the interest payable by the allotee to the promoter, it shall be from the date the allotee defaults in payment to the promoter till the date it is paid. So this is how interest is calculated. Then internal development works. We saw external development works. Now is internal development works. So internal development works means roads, footpaths, water supply, sewer, drain parks, free planting, street lighting, provision for community buildings and for treatment, etc. in a project for its benefit as per sanctioned plan. Then local authority. Local authority means municipal corporation or municipality or panchayats or any other local body constituted under any law for the timing in force for providing municipal services. So one is the definition of authority and now the definition of local authority. Here we have seen the definition of competent authority. So competent authority means a local authority or any authority created which exercises authority over land. So we have to see as per state laws as to what is the authority which exercises a jurisdiction or authority over land. So that authority is called competent authority. Now we are discussing the definition of local authority. So local authority is the municipal corporation or municipality or panchayats or any other local body for providing municipal services or basic services as the case may be in respect of areas under its jurisdiction. So competent authority and local authority are different. Member means the member of the RERA. Notification published in official gazette. Occupancy certificate. So when we have seen commencement certificate, then completion certificate, now is occupancy certificate. So occupancy certificate means the occupancy certificate or such other certificate by whatever name called issued by the competent authority permitting occupation of any building as provided under local laws, which is provision for civic infrastructure such as water, sanitation, and electricity. So unless all these facilities are there, water, sanitation, and electricity, occupancy certificate cannot be issued. Example, what is the difference between completion certificate and occupancy certificate? Answer is given by section 2ZF and section 2Q respectively. They define occupancy and completion certificate. Occupation certificate means permitting the occupation, which is provision for civic infrastructure. Completion certificate relates to the completion of the entire project, certifying that the project has been developed according to the sanction plan, layout plan, and specifications as approved by the competent authority. Person. And another important definition. So person includes an individual, a Hindu undivided family, a company, firm, competent authority, association of persons or body of individuals, cooperative society, or any other such entity as may be notified. So person includes all these things. Then planning area. Planning area means a planning area or a development area or a local planning area or a regional development plan area by whatever name called or any other area specified as such by the appropriate government or any competent authority and includes any area designated by the appropriate government or the competent authority to be a planning area for future planned development under the law relating to town and country planning for the timing in force and as revised from time to time. As we see in various cities, there are town planning authorities. So planning area means a planning area, development area, or local planning area, or regional development plan area, which is so designated by the appropriate government or the competent authority to be a planning area. Prescribed means prescribed by rules. Project means the real estate project. Then promoter. Promoter means a person who constructs or causes to be constructed an independent building or a building consisting of apartments or converts an existing building or a part thereof into apartments for the purpose of selling all or some of the apartments to other persons and includes his assignees. A person who develops land into a project whether or not the person also constructs structures on any of the plots for the purpose of selling to other persons, all or some of the plots in the said project, whether with or without structures thereon. So even land development will be included if done by a promoter in the definition of promoter. So promoter will be deemed to be any person who constructs or gets the construction done an independent building or a building containing consisting of apartments, or converts an existing building or part thereof into apartments for the purpose of selling all or some of the apartments to other persons and includes his assignees. And second is a person who develops land into a project. So construction is not important, whether or not the person also constructs. So even development of land will be covered. So any development authority or any other public body in respect of allottees of so promoter will also include any development authority or any other public body in respect of allottees of buildings or apartments. So if any authority is doing such work of promotion or construction of land or buildings or flats, so that will also be covered under the definition of promoter. So plots like if some plots are developed by Huda, then they will also be covered under the definition of promoter. So plots owned by such authority or body or placed at their disposal by the government for the purpose of selling. An apex state level cooperative housing finance society, primary cooperative housing society, any other person who acts himself as a builder, colonizer, contractor. So all these are covered under the definition of promoter. And 6 covers such other person who constructs any building or apartment for sale to the general public. So explanation is, for the purpose of this clause, where the person who constructs or converts a building into apartments or develops a plot for sale, and the persons who sells apartments or plots are different persons. Both of them shall be deemed to be the promoters. So someone may be constructing or converting a building into apartments or developing a plot for sale, and the person who sells apartments or plots. They may be different persons, but then both will be deemed to be promoters and shall be jointly liable as such for the functions and responsibility, because sale may be done by one person, construction may be done by another person, but both are covered under the definition of promoter. Example, does the definition of promoter include public bodies such as development authorities and housing board? Yes. The act covers all bodies, whether private or public, which develop real estate projects for sale to the general public. Section 2 ZK defines the term promoter, which includes both private and public real estate promoters. So both development authorities and the housing boards, when involved in sale, they are covered under the act. Then definition of prospectus. So prospectus means any document described or issued as a prospectus or any notice, circular or other document offering for sale of any real estate project or inviting any person to make advances or deposits for such purposes. So any document described or issued as a prospectus or any notice, circular or other document offering for sale of, so even a pamphlet, it might be included under the definition of prospectus, which describes the project. Real estate agent. Real estate agent means any person who negotiates or acts on behalf of one person in a transaction of transfer of his plot, apartment or building as the case may be in a real estate project by way of sale with another person, or transfer of plot, apartment or building as the case may be of another person to him, and receives remuneration or fees or any other charges for his services, whether as commission or otherwise, and includes a person who introduces through any medium prospective buyers and sellers to each other for negotiation for sale or purchase of plot, apartment or building as the case may be, and includes property dealers, brokers, middlemen, by whatever name called. So even if a person is organizing a property mela, he will be covered under the definition of real estate agent, because he is bringing both the prospective buyers and sellers together. Real estate project. Real estate project means development of a building or a building constructing of apartments or converting an existing building or a part thereof into apartments or the development of land into plots or apartments as the case may be for the purpose of selling all or some of the said apartments or plots or buildings as the case may be, and includes the common areas, development works, all improvements and structures, and all easement rights and appurtenances belonging thereto. So real estate project means the development of building or building consisting of apartments or converting an existing building or part thereof into apartment or development of land. So building, land, everything is covered, whether existing or new construction. For the purpose of selling. Regulations means the regulations made by the authority under this act. Rule means the rules made under this act. Sanction plan. Sanction plan means the site plan, building plan, service plan, parking and circulation plan, landscape plan, layout plan, zoning plan, and such other plan, and includes structural designs, if applicable, permissions such as environmental permission and such other permissions which are approved by the competent authority prior to start of a real estate. So all these are covered under the term sanctioned plan. Then the residuary clause, words and expressions used herein but not defined in this act and defined in any law for the time being in force or in the municipal laws or such other relevant laws of the appropriate government shall have the same meaning respectively assigned to them in those laws. Here. Section 4. It talks of application for registration of real estate project. This section provides for the application for registration of real estate project by the promoter. So every promoter will make an application to the authority for registration of the project. And the promoter will enclose the following documents. Brief details of his enterprise, name, registered address, type of enterprise, whether proprietorship, partnership, company, etc. And particulars of registration and the names and photographs of the promoters. Then brief details of the projects launched by him in past 5 years. So past history is also required to be given, whether already completed or being developed as the case may be, including the current status of the said projects. Because this act, it was introduced in the year 2016. So there were some ongoing projects as well, which were required to be registered when this law came into force. So for existing projects also, this is required to be given. In the past 5 years, whether already completed or being developed as the case may be, including the current status of the said properties, any delay in completion, details of cases pending, means litigation, details of type of land and payments pending. Then an authentic, and all these details are required to be uploaded on the website of RERA. Every promoter is given a login ID and password. Even the allottees of the real estate project, they can create their user IDs and password on the RERA website, and they can see promoter wise or even project wise the details of the various projects which are ongoing or which are completed by a particular builder. An authenticated copy of the approvals and commencement certificate. So all these are required to be uploaded on the RERA website also from the competent authority, obtained in accordance with the laws as may be applicable for the real estate project mentioned in the application. So all authenticated copy of the approvals and commencement certificate from the competent authority. And where the project is proposed to be developed in phases, an authenticated copy of the approvals and commencement certificate from the competent authority for each of such phases, like phase 1, phase 2. So if first phase for approval has been obtained for phase 1 only, then phase 1 documents, authenticated copy of the documents are required to be uploaded. Then the sanctioned plan, layout plan, and specifications, etc. Then plan of development works to be executed, etc. Location details of the project with clear demarcation of land dedicated for the project, along with its boundaries, including the latitude and longitude of the end points of the project. Then pro forma of the allotment letter, agreement for sale, and the conveyance deed proposed to be signed with the allottees. Even those pro formas are required to be given while obtaining registration for the project. So these are all documents which are required to apply for registration of the real estate project under section 4. The number types and carpet area of apartment for sale in the project, along with the area of the exclusive balcony or veranda areas and the exclusive open terrace areas apartment with the apartment, if any, and the number pertinent thereto, if any, and the number and area of garage, names and address of his real estate agents, if any, for the proposed project, so that no unauthorized real estate agents can work for the project. Names and addresses of the contractors, architects, structural engineer, other persons concerned with the development of the project. Then a declaration supported by an affidavit which shall be signed by the promoter or any person authorized by the promoter, stating that he has a legal title to the land on which the development is proposed. Land is free from all encumbrances, or if there are some encumbrances, then the details of such encumbrances. Suppose he has obtained loan from some housing development corporation for the project, so details of encumbrances also required to be given, including any rights, title, interest, or name of any party in or over such land along with details. Then the time period within which he undertakes to complete the project or the phase thereof. Then that 70% of the amounts realized for the real estate project from the allottees from time to time shall be deposited in a separate bank account to be maintained in a scheduled bank to cover the cost of construction and the land cost, and shall be used only for that purpose. So only 30% is left for to cover the administrative costs. 70% is to be maintained in a separate bank account, and that can be used only for the purpose of land cost or construction purpose. The promoter shall withdraw the amount from the separate account to cover the cost of the project in proportion to the percentage of completion of the project. And the amount shall be withdrawn after being certified from an engineer, architect, and a chartered accountant in practice. The promoter shall get his accounts audited within 6 months after the end of every financial year by a chartered accountant in practice, and will produce a statement of accounts duly certified and signed by such chartered accountant, and it should be verified during the audit that the amounts collected for a particular project have been utilized for that project. So even utilization certificate is to be given, and the withdrawal has been in compliance with the proportion to the percentage of completion of the project. The explanation for the purpose: scheduled bank means a bank included in second schedule to the Reserve Bank of India, that he shall take all the pending approvals on time from the competent authority, that he has furnished such other documents and such other information as may be prescribed. The authority shall operationalize a web-based online system for submitting applications for registration of projects with a period of 1 year from the date of its establishment. So in RERA, almost everything is online. Even complaints filed, they are being filed online. You can see the progress of the project, progress of the various complaints also. Suppose you filed a petition under RERA, so that petition online, it will be visible. Even the reply of the other party will be visible. Then section 5, it talks of grant of registration. This section, it provides for the grant of registration. So it provides that the authority shall, within a period of 30 days, grant registration subject to the provisions and the rules, and provide a registration number including login ID and password to the applicant for accessing the website of the authority, and to create his web page and to fill therein the details of the proposed project, or reject that application for reasons to be recorded in writing. However, opportunity of being had shall be provided. If the authority fails to grant registration or reject the application within 30 days, it will be deemed approval. It shall be deemed to have been registered, and the authority shall, within 7 days of the expiry of the said 30 days, provide a registration number and a login ID and password to the promoter. So within 30 days, the authority has to act. So registration granted shall be valid for a period declared by the promoter under subclause C of, so because the promoter has to declare the period of completion of the project or part thereof or phase thereof. So authority within 30 days will grant the registration. It will provide registration number including login ID and password. for accessing the website of the authority. If it rejects, then reasons to be recorded and opportunity to be provided. If it fails, it will be deemed to be registered, and authority will provide the login ID and password within 7 days. Functions and duties of promoter. Section 11. The promoter shall, upon receiving his login ID and password, what he will do? He will upload on the website of the RERA details of the, and he will create a web page of his own. Details of the registration granted by the authority. Then quarterly up to date, the list of numbers and types of apartments or plots as the case may be booked. Quarterly up to date list of number of garages booked. Quarterly up to date list of approvals taken and approvals which are pending subsequent to the commencement certificate. Quarterly up to date status of the project. Such other information and documents as may be specified by the regulations made by the authority. So all these things are required to be uploaded. The advertisement or prospectus issued or published by the promoter. We have already seen the definition of advertisement and prospectus. So the advertisement or prospectus, these are two different things. One is advertisement, the other is prospectus. So advertisement or prospectus issued or published by the promoter shall mention prominently the website address of the authority, wherein all the details of the registered project have been entered and include the registration number obtained from the authority and such other matters incidental thereto. The promoter at the time of booking and issue of allotment letter shall be responsible to make available to the allottee the following information: sanction plan, layout plan, along with specifications. So all these things are to be provided. Then stage-wise time schedule of completion of the project. The promoter shall be responsible for all obligations, responsibilities, and functions under the provisions of this act or rules, till the conveyance of all the apartments, provided that the responsibility of the promoter with respect to the structural defect or any other defect for such period shall continue even after the conveyance deed of all the apartments, plots, or buildings. So for any structural defect, the promoter may be held liable even after the conveyance deed has been executed. He will be responsible to obtain the completion certificate or the occupancy certificate or both as applicable from the relevant competent authority. Okay? And he will make it available to the allottees individually or to the association. He will be responsible to obtain the lease certificate where the real estate project is developed on a leasehold land, specifying the period of lease and certifying that all dues and charges have been paid, and to make the lease certificate available to the association of allottees. He will be responsible for providing and maintaining the essential services on reasonable charges till the taking over of the management of the project by the association of the allottees. He will enable the formation of an association or society or cooperative society of the allottees or a federation of the same, provided that in the absence of local laws, the association of allottees shall be formed within a period of 3 months of the majority of the allottees having booked their plot or apartment or building as the case may be. He will execute, these are the duties of the promoter. He will execute a registered conveyance deed of the apartment, plot, or building as the case may be in favor of the allottee along with undivided proportionate title in the common areas. He will pay all outgoings until he transfers the physical possession of the real estate project to the allottee or the association, which he has collected from the allottees for the payment of outgoings, including land costs, ground rent, municipal or other local taxes, charges for water or electricity, etc. So provided that where any promoter he fails to pay all or any of the outgoings which he has already collected from the allottees, or any liability, mortgage loan or interest thereon being before transferring the real estate project, the promoter shall continue to be liable even after the transfer of the property to pay such outgoings and penal charges if any. Promoter may cancel the allotment only in terms of the agreement for sale. Even the agreement for sale, a pro forma of the agreement for sale is to be deposited at the time of registration itself. provided that the allottee may approach the authority for relief if he is aggrieved by such cancellation, and such cancellation is not in accordance with the terms of the agreement for sale, unilateral and without any sufficient cause. So these are the various functions and duties of the promoter. Then section 17, it talks of transfer of title. This section, it provides for the transfer of title. Just a minute. The promoter shall execute a registered conveyance deed in favor of the allottee along with the undivided proportionate title in the common areas to the association of the allottees or the competent authority as the case may be, and hand over the physical possession of the plot, apartment or building as the case may be to the allottees and the common areas to the association of the allottees or the competent authority, and the other title documents pertaining thereto within specified period as per the sanctioned plan as provided under the local laws. So it talks of transfer of title. So transfer of title, one is the registered conveyance deed. So registered conveyance deed is to be in favor of the allottees along with the undivided proportionate title in the common areas to the association of the allottees or the competent authorities, and hand over the physical possession of the plot apartment to the allottees and the common areas to the association. So common areas are to be handed over to the association of allottees or competent authority, and registered conveyance deed is to be executed in favor of the allottees. In the absence of any local law, conveyance deed in favor of the allottee or the association or the competent authority shall be carried out by the promoter within 3 months from the date of issue of the occupancy certificate. Okay. After obtaining the occupancy certificate and handing over physical possession to the allottee, in terms of subsection 1, it shall be the responsibility of the promoter to hand over the necessary documents and plans, including common areas, to the association of the allottees or as case may be. Then return of amount and compensation. So section 18 talks of this. This section provides for the return of amount and compensation. There may be different scenarios. First could be if the promoter fails to complete or is unable to give possession of an apartment, plot or building in accordance with the terms of agreement for sale due to discontinuance of his business as a developer on account of suspension or revocation of the registration. So he shall be liable on demand to the allottees in case the allottee wishes to withdraw from the project without prejudice to any other remedy available to return the amount received by him with interest at such rate as may be prescribed. However, where an allottee does not intend to withdraw from the project, he shall be paid by the promoter interest for every month of delay till the handing over of the possession at such rate as may be prescribed. So here the allottee has the option either to withdraw from the project in case of delay, or he may decide to continue with the project, and in that case interest shall be paid for every month of delay. The promoter shall compensate the allottees in case of any loss caused to him due to the defective title of the land on which the project is being developed. Suppose the title of the project on which the project is being developed is defective, then the promoter will compensate the allottees. And the claim for compensation under the subsection shall not be barred by the limitation provided under any law for the time being in force. If the promoter fails to discharge any other obligations, he shall be liable to pay such compensation as may be provided. Section 20 talks of authority, RERA authority, Real Estate Regulatory Authority establishment and incorporation. So appropriate government within period of 1 year from the date of coming into force of this act, it will establish an authority to be known as Real Estate Regulatory Authority. So 2 or more states or union territories, they may establish one single authority. Okay. Even more than one authority could be established in a state or union territory. It will be a body corporate, perpetual succession, common seal. It may sue or be sued in its name. Terms of office. So chairman and members, they will hold office for a term not exceeding 5 years from the date on which they enter upon their office, or until the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. And they shall not be eligible for reappointment. So only one time appointment is there. So 5 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier, and not eligible for reappointment. Who? Chairman and members. And before appointing any person as chairperson or member, the appropriate government shall satisfy itself that the person does not have any such financial or other interest as is likely to affect prejudicially his functions as such member. Then filing of complaints. How complaints are being filed under RERA. So this section, it provides for the filing of complaints with the authority or the adjudicating officer. So any person may file a complaint with the authority or the adjudicating officer as the case may be for any violation. So person will include the association of authorities or any voluntary consumer association registered under any law for the time being in force. So any voluntary consumer association registered under any law for the time being in force, this is also included for filing of complaint. Functions of authority. This section provides that the function of authority will be functions of RERA, register and regulation, then publishing and maintaining website, maintaining database on its website for public viewing, for all the project details of all the promoters which are registered, to maintain a database on website for public viewing and enter the names and photographs of real estate agents who have applied and registered with such details. Then to fix through regulations for each areas the standard fees to be levied on the allottees or the promoter or the real estate agent as the case may be. So these are the various functions of the authority. Now power to issue interim orders. So this section provides the power to issue interim order. So where during an inquiry, authority is satisfied that some contravention has taken place, then authority may restrain any promoter, allottee, or real estate agent from carrying on such act till the conclusion of such inquiry without giving notice to such party where the authority deems it necessary. So power to issue interim orders are there in case any contravention is committed by any person, either promoter or allottee or real estate agent. Then power of authority to issue directions. So the authority may issue directions also. To whom? To promoter, allottees, or real estate agent, because these are the three parties involved: promoters, allottees, and real estate agent, who act as the bridge between the promoter and the allottees. Then powers of authority, section 38. Section 38, it provides for the power of authority. So it will have powers to impose penalty or interest. They will abide by the principles of natural justice. And where an issue is raised relating to agreement, action, omission, practice, or procedure that has an appreciable prevention, restriction, or distortion of a competition in connection with the development of a real estate project or has effect of market. So in case some monopoly is being created, then the authority may suo motu make reference in respect of such issue to the Competition Commission of India. So RERA will write to Competition Commission of India that a monopolistic situation is being created. Recovery of interest or penalty or compensation and enforcement of order, etc. So if any penalty is levied or any compensation is granted, so how it will be enforced? Section 40 talks of this. If a promoter or an allottee or a real estate agent fails to pay any penalty or interest or compensation, then it will be recoverable as areas of land revenue, as in income tax, etc. If an adjudicating officer or the regulatory authority or appellate tribunal issues any order, either for doing any act or for refraining from doing it, then it could be enforced. Then establishment of Central Advisory Council. Section 41, it talks of establishment of Central Advisory Council. This section provides for the establishment of Central Advisory Council. So central government by notification will establish a Central Advisory Council. Minister to the Government of India in charge of Ministry of the Central Government dealing with housing, he will be the ex officio chairperson. Then it will consist of representatives of the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Ministry of Urban Development, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Law and Justice, Niti Aayog, National Housing Bank, HUDA, HUDC, Housing and Urban Development Corporation. Then 5 representatives of state governments to be selected by rotation, 5 representations of the RERA authorities to be selected by rotation, and any other central government department as notified. So this will be the composition of the Central Advisory Council. It will consist of not more than 10 members to represent the interest of real estate industry, consumers, real estate agents, construction laborers, non-governmental organizations, and academic and research bodies. What will be the functions? The functions will be to advise and recommend to the central government. Appeal to High Court. So section 58 talks of appeal to High Court. If any person is aggrieved by the decision of the appellate tribunal, he can file an appeal to the High Court. So first comes the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, RERA. Then an appeal can be filed to the tribunal. And even if one is aggrieved by the decision of the appellate tribunal, then he can appeal to High Court within 60 days from the date of communication of the decision or order of the appellate tribunal. High Court may entertain the appeal even after the expiry of 60 days if sufficient reason is there. Then no appeal shall lie. It is important that no appeal shall lie against any decision or order made by the appellate tribunal with the consent of the parties. So if both the parties have consented to a particular action, then no appeal will lie. Then offenses, penalties, and the adjudication. Punishment for non-registration. So there is a penalty and punishment for non-registration as well. So section 59 talks of this. Section 59 provides for punishment for non-registration. So penalty is up to 10% of the estimated cost of the real project. And if any promoter does not comply with the order, decisions or directions, then imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 10% of the estimated cost of the real estate project or with both. Offenses by companies. So in case an offense has been committed by a company, then every person who was in charge or who was responsible, and he will be liable for punishment unless he can prove that it was committed without his knowledge. But if an offense in case of a company, it is proved that it was committed with the consent or connivance of the director, manager, secretary, then he will be deemed to be guilty of that offense and he shall be liable to be proceeded and punished accordingly. So company means any body corporate and includes a firm or other association of individuals. And director in relation to a firm means a partner in the firm. So company here means any body corporate and it includes a firm also or EOP. Then compounding provisions are there in section 70. This section provides that notwithstanding anything in the Code of Criminal Procedure, if any person is punished with imprisonment, then it may be compounded by the court. However, the sum prescribed shall not in any case exceed the maximum amount of the fine which may be imposed for the offense so compounded. So compounding fees cannot exceed the maximum amount of the fine. Then power to adjudicate. Section 71. This section provides for the power to adjudicate. So authority shall appoint in consultation one or more judicial officers who is or who has been a district judge to be an adjudicating officer for holding an inquiry in the prescribed manner. Where any such application could not be disposed of within the said period of 60 days, the adjudicating officer shall record his reasons in writing for not disposing of the application within 60 days. So Application for adjudging compensation, it has to be disposed of within a period of 60 days, otherwise reasons have to be recorded. Naturally, while holding an inquiry, all the provisions of Code of Civil Procedure will apply, like summoning a person, obtaining affidavit on oath, etc. Miscellaneous, bar of jurisdiction. No civil court shall have jurisdiction. So RERA, then appellate tribunal, then high court. Then cognizance of offences, section 80. It provides for cognizance of offences. So no court shall take cognizance of any offence punishable under this act or the rules or regulations, save on a complaint in writing made by the authority or by any officer of the authority duly authorized by it for the purpose. So cognizance of offences cannot be taken except on a complaint in writing by the authority or by an officer of the authority. And no court inferior to that of a metropolitan magistrate or a judicial magistrate of the first class shall try any offences punishable under this act. So the court will come into picture only if a complaint is made by the authority or by any officer of the authority. Otherwise, there is no jurisdiction of the court. Section 85, it talks of power to make regulations, that the authority within a period of 3 months will make regulations consistent with this. Laying of rules, section 86. So it says that the rules, whatever made, they will be laid before each house of parliament while it is in session for a total period of 30 days, which may be comprised in one session or in 2 or more successive sessions. Application of other laws not barred. Section 88 says this section provides that the provisions of this act shall be in addition to and not in derogation of the provisions of any other law for the time being in force, and act to have overriding effect. So non-obstante clause is there. So this section provides that the provisions of this act shall have effect notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in any other law for the time being in force. And protection of actions taken in good faith. So if any officer or any government authority takes any action in good faith, so immunity is granted to such officers or authorities. So this is all about Real Estate Development Authority. Now I have reproduced the BEAR Act as well from 67 slides onward. So this is the BEAR Act. But major portions I've already covered in my presentation. But you can go through this also if you want to find answers to any other question. But I have covered most of the provisions in my presentation. So this was all for today. Now I'm stopping the recording. You can ask any question if you want.